Welcome to what is possibly one of the worst Spookier Celluloid video, which I was gonna think this was gonna be that, but then I thought about this entire channel and how it's all terrible, it's all garbage. But hey, cute cat, she's here. I think she hasn't popped in one of my videos for a while. Anyways, I'm reviewing a film, because that's what I do on this channel apparently. I don't know, I haven't uploaded on this channel in ages. And today I'm reviewing a Japanese film, Slaughter in the Snow. It's a samurai film, and apparently it's the final bloody installment of the famed Mikogami trilogy. Which, if it's so famed, why did, when I rated this on Letterboxd, or when I logged it, it only had 79 other entries. And then on IMDb there's like 119 people who rated it. Yeah, this one is fairly obscure. I found this copy at some used book and movie and record, I guess, store. I think it's just books and movies in Montreal when I went to Fantasia this week, and I'm not disappointed because this is a really good samurai flick. Now, I got a bit confused as to what the characters were, because as I said, this is the third installment. I didn't know that when I bought it because I can't read, but But yeah, I haven't seen the two previous ones. Hopefully I can find them somewhere, probably for cheap. This is like released by Animego, which is a old company that I don't think still exists. But I appreciate these like older releases of these types of films because they were creative back then with the subtitling. You have like the credit sequence, and then you have the subtitles, and then on some upper subtitles on top of the screen you have other like factoids about the musician, the music, the name of the song, whenever they say something very Japanese of that era. And yes, there is a lawnmower in the background. As I said, this is going to be one of my worst videos, but yeah, whenever they use language that is either very Japanese or very of that era, because you know this is a period piece, there is a little on top of the frame a description of what that means. And like one of the characters say, "Oh, it's gonna take me 3 rides to walk there," and then up top they say this 3 rides equals about 7 miles. So you know subtitling job is really good. There's some context, which nobody really does anymore. They just basically straight up translate and localize it without yeah, it's from their series of samurai cinema. Yeah, and it's directed by Ikehiro Kazuo, which apparently he's directed some entries in the Zatoichi series, which is another series of classic old school samurai Japanese films. I own the first 3, I think I've only watched the first one, and overall I did really like it. And she wants attention. She can just jump on. I'll do it quick because my kitty needs attention. So the story is fairly simple, as are most of these old school samurai flicks. We follow 2 characters that I guess there is some backstory in the previous films. The main character, which I think the series of the Mikogami trilogy is named after, his name is Jokichi. And apparently he's just a wandering samurai who gets in trouble and murders a lot of people. And then you have the other character, which is called Windmill Zokishi, the master of the... Is it the main character? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm really confused. Like I said, it's the 3rd entry. So, I don't know which character is which. There's this guy, which I think is the main character, and then there's the other protagonist in the film, and who's also somewhat of an antagonist. And this is what I like about these old Japanese films, is especially these old samurai films, is there's not really a villain per se. There are villains, but our main characters can be either protagonists or antagonists, because they all have their character flaws, which is always an interesting concept. So yeah, we basically follow these 2 men. One of them is one of the masters of knife throwing in Japan, and the other one is this guy. which I guess is the main character of the series. I might be mistaken. As I said, I haven't seen the rest of the franchise. Yeah, the windmill, whatever, the master knife thrower, is a bounty hunter, and he has a job to do, and that is to kill this guy, which again he's just a wanderer, and apparently he's very good at killing because that's what he did in the 2 previous films. And yeah, so they meet each other in a circumstance, a weird, strange circumstance, and then they follow each other. Well, the knife thrower follows this guy because he wants to wait to kill him for some reason. And then the other guy is also waiting to kill the other guy because he wants a duel, but our knife thrower has tuberculosis, so he's in really bad shape. So this guy takes care of the samurai with tuberculosis, the knife thrower, until he feels better to finally put an end to his life. However, in between that, they get caught up in some Yakuza stuff, and then there's a boss of a gang in the village they walk into that really wants him dead, and the knife thrower also has a girl that he's in love with, and he tries to save her, but she's now with the Yakuza boss. It's a fairly simple story, but the details are very vague and a bit confusing at times, mainly because, again, this is the 3rd entry. It's like jumping into a series, and this seems to be the type of series that you really need to watch the first 2 before. So I really enjoyed this film, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it even more with the proper context. So I'll try to pick up definitely the previous 2 entries. Hopefully I can find them cheap from this label. Hopefully they put it out. I think this DVD label are the ones that originally put out the DVD for Shogun's Assassin. Not too sure. I'll have to confirm that. But yeah, the film looks really good. They say here that it's a 35mm print that they transferred, and the colors were enhanced, grain and noise was reduced. It looks pretty good, especially for, a DVD from 2007? Is that it? Yeah, 2007. It looks really darn good, even on like a modern 4K TV. Of course, it's beautifully like widescreen, wide scope. The snow always is amazing in these types of films. The settings of the snow, it reminded me a lot of Lady Snowblood in the visual style. It's not as good, but it's still a pretty solid samurai flick that I really, really, really enjoyed. Of course, my favorite part of these old 70s, even older samurai films is the arterial blood sprays, which are insane. Just the poosh, and it's cartoonesque, anime-esque, but it's part of why I love these films. Clearly, Tarantino was very inspired when he did Kill Bill. So we got some amazing arterial sprays, some amazing blood that is vibrant and saturated. There was a scene where our main character just stabs the boss of the Yakuza, and then the blood just sprays on the woman he's with in bed, and she just is covered in blood. It's amazing. Yeah, I really, really like this film. There are some parts that get kind of, long at points, but they pack a lot of stuff in the 83 minutes running time. If you can find this, you can probably find this for fairly cheap. I mean, Animego, nobody knows about this film. You can probably pick it up for fairly cheap. I would highly, highly recommend you guys seek this one out. And if you can find the first 2, that's even better. You can probably get some context on what the hell is going on in this. But even without the context, I really enjoyed it. This is a solid 7.289 out of 10.